Well, we missed Andrew Partridge last week from Michell Wool. We were off having a long weekend for Australia Day, but the market certainly never sleeps. And Andrew, a couple of good weeks over at the Wool Exchange.
Yes, mate, the wool prices are going well. You can put an extra snag on the barbie.
Fantastic. A lamb sausage, possibly, but we like the wool coming off the sheep's back as well. And apparently, according to some analysts, this is a busy time for shearing as well.
Yes, it is, mate. Yeah, full bore going. A lot of shearing sheds, obviously. We don't have to tell the wool growers, and they'll know what's going on. Their shearing sheds will be full of wool and very busy after harvest. So, the offerings aren't too bad. We're punching up in our sort of higher levels for the year, 50,000 bales nationally. And, while we've got all this wool coming on, the market's still managing to sneak up. Indicator up 18 cents this week to 13.56, and that's with the Australian dollar going up as well. So the overseas, mostly, as we've been saying, the wool trade overseas is mostly in US cents. Well, it's getting dearer in US cents and still going up, so all good.
Fantastic. They can't get it off the sheep's back and into those sale rooms fast enough by the sounds of it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So we've got the forecasting committee predicting there's going to be a big influx of wool coming in these next 6 months. So year to date, we're just travelling a measly sort of 8,000 bales ahead of the same time last year on the offer. So it needs to be more wool coming off.
Absolutely. So it looks like there's been a fairly generous outcome on the sales front for our wool sellers across the board as well. Always good in the upper microns, but not bad even in the middle. Yeah,
correct. Yeah, and we put a circle around 21 microns where a lot of the wools in South Australia and so forth are grown. They're hitting very close to the last 2-year peak. They're within sort of 50 cleaner where they peaked over the last 2 years. So certainly very high on the deciles for the last couple of years. But the opposite end of the bookends, the 17 microns, they've been much higher in the last 12 months or so, and poor old crossbreds are suffering as well.
Yeah, zooming out a little bit further to the last few years, though, we're still at this point in the year a bit below where we were last year. I mean, these prices, they're still okay, but they're not as good as before the measures in relation to the pandemic were imposed.
No, correct. Yeah, and we only got to go back to June last year where the market was a lot sort of higher, and we had a lot of things going on then. We had a lot of Chinese government orders and these sort of things fueling the market. And of course, eventually went into reverse when we all went into lockdown. So Chinese are coming out of lockdown. There's a lot of optimism, more optimism and pessimism in the market at the moment, whoever you talk to, in the wool market. So particularly in the merino realm, Ricky. So, it's looking quite interesting.
That's very good to hear. So I imagine there's a big pile of wool expected to turn up for next week's auctions?
I reckon they certainly won't be less. I think, though anyone with wool growers in store, they'll be starting to get the news now that there's a bit of a rise in the market, and there'll be an extra, coming out of harvest and maybe a few bills to pay and whatever to put a bit more wool on the market the next week or two. So the offerings will stay up in that sort of 40,000, 50,000 bale mark, for sure.
And the pass-in rate's been pretty good as well. In other words, everything's finding a home.
Correct. Yeah. Just if you look through the different sort of parameters of different microns, it's those poorer class, lower valued things in crossbreds and stuff like that. It's really increasing that passing rate. If you took merinos out on the whole, you'll find that they're very low passing rates.
And what's the chatter around the sales floor as well? Aside from all the things we've talked about, what are people really saying? Look, we've got to keep an eye on this, or have you heard about that?
Yeah, certainly, probably. And look, it's a tough one. Crossbred lambs, for instance, there's a lot of price variation in crossbred lambs. So we really, if farmers are shearing big wings of crossbred lambs at the moment, it would pay to put that extra staff member in the shed and class that wool out properly. We're in our mill ourselves. We're looking for what we call the merino looky in the crossbred lambs. So anything that's got a bit of crimp and walks like a merino, talks like a merino, we put it in as a merino. So even if it's a crossbred lamb. So if we could get the chance to actually get wool classing going in that crossbred realm, particularly those finer comebacky types, there's a premium there in the market for them.
Now, speaking of premium product, to get your pulse racing a bit, Andrew, I noticed that the Geelong Cats are heading out to Warrnambool very shortly. I know you're a big Geelong fan. How do you rate their chances of going into this AFL season?
Look, I've taken the eye off the Cats at the moment. Have we got a captain? I don't even know. Have we named a captain yet? Is it Dangerfield? I don't know. Look, I'm probably still thinking about the cut from last year, Ricky. I'm
still basking in the glory of that.
I am, absolutely. Why not? Come and get us, guys. Come and get us.
All right. Well, too busy on the sales floor, Andrew Partridge from Michell Wool, to check in with what's happening with the Cats. I'll have to go looking myself. Ask Geelong what's going on. Thanks for joining us today, Andrew.
Cheers, Ricky.